So, tell us, how come you went into boxing?
Well, at the age of 52, yeah. I mean, it's health-wise, I got the 50-year MOT by the NHS and it was bad. My cholesterol was through the roof. I was having lots of chest pains, really. Felt like someone was pressing on my chest like that. I had some mental torture as well, that something physical can get out of my system. And that was it, really. And
were you overweight, or were you getting chest pains, or what?
Yeah, I was. I was probably 2 stone heavier than I am now.
Right. So that was really affecting you so bad that you were getting chest pains?
Yeah, I was waking up in the middle of the night with like tightness on the chest. That's probably from the high cholesterol that I had. It was very, very high.
Were you eating badly?
You did. Unfortunately, the job that I do is you end up eating from services on the road, and you know, we drive all around Europe delivering art exhibitions and all like that, and you get your 50 quid night out money. You know, if you're in Berlin or Monaco or Paris, so what do you do with your money? You find a bar and you have a drink, and then you have a big kebab or something at the end of it, and that catches you up after doing that for 16 years. So yeah, it was a lot of that, and I never.
Were you worried?
Yeah, I was enough to join a gym straight away and nearly kill myself doing the gym.
Do you want to talk about any of the other trauma that you'd had?
Yeah. The passing of my brother was quite a hard thing to take. You know, it was the whole circumstances behind it. It still plays on my mind now. A life-changing injury at work, and you think you always see the signs when someone's not coping. When you look back on it, you think, yes, I can see the signs now in hindsight, but at the time I didn't. I just dismissed them, and unfortunately he ended up taking his life, which has had a devastating effect on the whole family.
So by going into a gym and everything, that kind of brought you a little bit of stability.
Yeah.
And fitness, so it's like a dual thing.
Yeah.
So your first fight, what was it? What age were you? 52.
When I was younger, I left the gym after a heavy sparring session, which was Newham Boxing Club at the age of 27 with a broken thumb. And I said, I'm just going to go on holiday, have a little bit of a break, and I'll get back to it. I eventually got back into it at the age of 52 when I walked into Holland Park boxing gym in Basildon.
How tough was it going into a boxing routine?
Well, the hardest thing was walking in there and everyone thinking that I was there to pick my son up or something like that. Everyone thinking, what's this old man doing in the gym? That was the hardest thing. But yeah, it was quite tough at first.
How did people accept you in the gym? What did they think?
Well, I was the oldest by far in there, by probably 15 years.
Mm-hmm. But was it difficult, sort of, being punched in the head for the first time?
That was to build up to doing that again, getting punched in the face,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's famous one, everyone's got a plan to get a punch in the mouth. Yeah, it was, it was, but...
What was the most difficult aspect of getting yourself fit?
The circuit training. Mm-hmm. Doing at the age of 52, you can't, bend how you used to be, and you used to be able to do it, but that's quite tough. And to be honest, that first fight I had, I wasn't really that fit in that one because I was sparring and I was blowing out after 2 rounds, and I'd done exactly that in that fight. Mm-hmm. I ended up just gassing out.
I do see when I see people who've maybe got in the ring the first time, they throw punches all the way through the first round, and then they just don't have the stamina to get through the sort of second and third round. Is that how it worked out with you? Yeah,
it was, but it's more so that when that bell goes, you just swing hell for leather, but not being experienced, and you just and then I put so much into that first round, I was absolutely gassed.
So take us through your first fight. Were you nervous before you got in the ring?
Surprisingly not, but I had the moments of I'm going to win this, then I'm going to lose, I'm going to make myself look silly. I had my son there, I had family and friends. You go for all that emotion.
Were you worried that you might have gotten knocked out?
Well, to be fair, the bloke who I was supposed to be fighting that day, I would have looked good against him, but he pulled out that afternoon. I turned up there and Ryan, who was my trainer there, he said, "I'm sorry to tell you, but he's not turning up. We're going to have to find you another opponent." Mm-hmm. So a last-minute opponent was put in.
So take us to the fight. You went hell for leather in the first round.
Hell for leather. Caught with a couple of good punches, and then that panic of when you start gassing out, I was absolutely gone.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you just think, oh, can I get through to the end of the round?
I just thought, wow, I'm gassed. But that's more psychological than it is actually what was happening, because I was fairly fit for a 52-year-old. But
how was it taking the shots of your opponent?
It was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, because I'm thinking for people that might be considering this at this age, what are the disadvantages of doing this, and what are the advantages?
Well, the disadvantages are that you get made look a right mug in front of your friends, and the advantages are you when you win, that elation is second to none. That buzz you get from that is really good, really.
So in that, were you sort of evenly matched? Was the guy that you fought much younger than you, or what age was he?
He was much younger than me, but he was a journeyman. He was one that fills in for that very situation. That fills in for when people blow out at the last minute.
And did you win the fight?
I won I got my hand raised at the end of it. Yes, and I felt I won it. I won it. Yeah.
Fantastic. So how many fights have you had?
4 in my 50s. Yeah, 4.
4 fights.
4. Yeah.
And tell us about some of the other fights.
My second one was we had the lockdown, didn't we? We had all that, which worked out well, because in that first fight I ended up dislocating the shoulder.
Right.
It was a partial dislocation, which luckily enough, as I leant forward, it popped back in. So I managed to complete the fight. So I ended up phoning up Alan Mortlock.
Yes.
And I saw his advertisement, and I told him my age, which I thought he was going to reject me straight away, but he said, "No, don't worry, I'll try and fight. It's going to be difficult, but I'll try and find you an opponent." And I signed up for that one, which was Circus Tavern.
Fantastic. So who did you fight on that second fight?
Sean Ryder. Unfortunately, it wasn't the singer, Sean Ryder.
But he was a tough fellow, wasn't he?
He was, and there was an issue with. We had an extra month to prepare because the date got put back. So I probably done 12 weeks training. I was really fit in that, and I'd done quite a bit of sparring. But there was a weight issue, because we was going to come in at 93 kilos. 2 weeks before the fight, Alan's phoned me up and he says, Sean ain't going to make that weight. So I thought, fair enough. I'm not going to pull out. How much heavier is he? And he said he's about 3-4 stone heavier than you. And I thought, wow,
that's a bit of a weight.
It is, but we were heavyweights, so
it doesn't.
Yeah, it's anything over 91 kilos, I think it is. The sparring up to that was I took some heavy body shot from Rafi, and I was in absolute agony. I was speaking to Rod Julian, and he was telling me, rub this sort of thing into it, but to be honest, when you're 50, 54, 55, it takes a long time for those injuries to busted ribs and that. So I went into that fight, my ribs was in bits, and if Sean attacked me on the ribs, I would have gone down and I would not have got up. So I was absolutely delighted when he proceeded to punch me in the face, because it was a lot less painful. But I'm not making any excuses. More than I, he was a better fighter than I was, stronger, quicker, more knowledge. So
what was the result of the fight? Did you lose that fight?
I got a bit of a hiding in that one. Yeah.
How do you react to getting sort of beaten like that? Do you think, I've got to pack this in now, this is a waste of time?
I didn't really want to end on that, because he bamboozled me as a southpaw, which I thought, hang on, how comes I can't hit him? He switch hitting as well, doing the right number on me, to be fair. And like I say, just knew more than I. He was a better fighter. And,
so when you went back to the gym, did you feel that you sort of learnt a lot, and that you could then apply it in your next fight?
Yeah. And when I saw the next show was on at York Hall, obviously everyone wants to jump on that. York Hall, world famous, and I'm from the East End, so I had to get on that show. So I gave Alan another headache of trying to find me another opponent, someone who, in their 50s or late 40s.
And then who did you fight then?
I fought Adrian Marks then.
Right.
I think he was 48 or something like that. And
if I remember correctly, wasn't that in the first round that you had him over in the first round?
I
right?
did, and I didn't get ruled a knockdown either because I knew I'd caught him. I sort of went skipping back to the corner, thinking, you're going to get standing there, and the referee ruled it no knockdown.
Well, I wasn't so keen on the referee that night, I have to say. I'm not sure that he was as good as some as the other referees that we have seen there. But so how did the rest of the fight go? Did you gas out a bit? The third round, it was tough for you, wasn't it?
It was, but I felt like I could have. I felt strong throughout the whole fight. I felt the fittest I'd been on that one, and the training building up to that went well. Sparring went well. I thought the fight was a lot closer than they gave it to me unanimous decision. I thought that fight was a lot closer. I thought they ruled that first one not a knockdown. So that first round was a little bit. The second round, I think I won, and the third round, Adrian caught me with some good shots. Sent my head flying back. So I thought it was a close fight.
Yeah, I have to say I thought you got the decision on that without a doubt. I was filming that. So then you're on to your final fight, which I think is back at the Circus Tavern.
Yeah.
So who was that against? And did you feel much more confident at that point?
Yeah. Well, I went back to the gym and then another show got announced in Circus Tavern. I said I want to go again. So Ross said to me, "Why don't you ask that bloke to have a rematch for you? It was a close fight, even match." So I messaged Adrian. I said, "Do you fancy a rematch?" And to be honest, how quickly he replied, I thought, "Wow, well, maybe you sold him back that day, and the real Adrian, the real McCoy is going to come out." But so we had a rematch. The other previous fights were white collar. This was IBA. So there was no head guards, which was brilliant. And those head guards, I don't know.
Tell us what it's like for people, who haven't done this before. The difference between fighting the head guards and without.
Well, for one, it makes your head a lot bigger. And I mean, just going back to that Sean Ryder fight, if you look at it, the guard actually goes over my eyes, and I'm trying to pull it back. And fair play to Sean, he stood back. Could see I was struggling with my head guard. But then as soon as I sort of got my stance back, he's hit me with a left over the top and sent me crashing to the ground. Did
you feel more protected? So in that last fight, did you feel less protected by the fact that you didn't have any head guards on?
No, not at all. Not at all. I felt free. Right. I felt like I had free movement.
Yeah. So what are your recollections of that fight?
Well, that one I was a bit nervous because I had the biggest crowd I'd had. I had 30,
atmosphere.
Yeah, I had 30 odd people there. I had family, friends. That one. And but I was pumped for that. I really was. I knew that was my last one.
Yeah.
And
why did you know it was your last one?
I just felt I've already experienced this at my time of life, which I shouldn't really. Normal people don't experience this at 55 or 56. I was then, and it's just it's good.
You won the fight.
Yeah, I ended up winning the first round KO. I caught him with a good left hook, which stunned him a little bit, and I went in, caught him with a few more punches, and then fair play, he got up because I broke my knuckle in that fight. He got up, beat the count, and then he was a bit stunned, and I just thought I'm just going to rain as many punches on him as possible. Hopefully the referee jumps in and stops it, which he did.
Fantastic, and I know you were quite elated at the end, having won it, weren't you?
Yeah, the feeling of that was just buzzing. Yeah. And then to have my son there as well at the end, and I gave him, I put the belt round, and we got a nice picture of us together. It was
so
really nice.
There is no chance that you're going to get back in the ring?
Well, Sean Ryder, if you're watching, I'll have a rematch for you, buddy. We can get it on. Yeah. I'll come out of retirement for that.
I think for people watching this, that they want to know, and at a similar age, they want to know, is the experience worth it? Should you do it in your 50s, or are you just being mad?
Well, I think I'm a bit of an exceptional case. There's not many people I had a lot of stuff going on there. That there's always a reason why someone in that age goes into something like that. And I had a lot on me plate at that time. I don't think someone who's got a normal life will want to do that. I don't know, but it's definitely worth it. I mean,
is it a big highlight in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a lot very fondly back on all this. It's really enjoyed it. Really.
So if you're talking now to someone who's sitting there, who's in their 50s, sitting on their sofa, and maybe like me, has got a bit of a gut on them and this, that and the other, would you advise them to get in that ring and have a go?
I would. I mean, if you've got a bit of mental torture going on in your life, or you've got a bit of something going on just that you need to get out ahead, definitely. There's nothing better than that, getting rid of all that frustration.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. So you did very, very well, and you are a winner.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Brilliant.